Whatever Made Me Do It is a mixed documentary which has a combination of interview, observation, and narration. The themes of this documentary is the power of the media and asks, can Marilyn Manson's music influence someone to go and kill someone else? It also includes Satanism, Christianity, Catholicism, and extremism. This is the title screen of the documentary. It's not plain text but more of a gothic look to go with what the documentary is about. The T at the very end of the word "it" is like a cross, which is like a religious symbol, and goes with what the documentary is about as well. This is a man's prison photograph. It shows that part of this program may have prisoners or people that have been arrested, such as the murderers in this documentary. There's no framing, but this is archive material which the documentary makers have found to make it more dramatic and give it atmosphere. These are people waiting at the concert of Marilyn Manson. The clothes and makeup all go with the documentary and what's it about, like gothic theme. And even though they're smiling, the music is totally different from the attitudes at that time. This is Marilyn Manson's interview. There were two cameras during this interview, one a low angle shot and this one a close-up shot. These showed that he could be imposing, scary and powerful. The plain white text at the bottom left is very conventional as it is easy to read. The lighting, however, is very unconventional but done deliberately by the documentary makers. Half of his face is lit but the other is not, which leads to the question people subconsciously ask themselves, is he evil or is he not? It's like good versus evil. This long shot of Italy was in the village that the murder took place in. It looks peaceful, which makes the murder seem much more horrific. This interview with the victim's brother was a handheld interview, which meant the documentary makers wanted to follow the action in case anything happened. It's very unconventional because of the framing, and the documentary makers did not use rule of thirds, but that's what makes the interview much more interesting. This interview, however, is much more conventional, as he is on the left side with mostly space on the right side. The text is also the same as a plain white font on the right side, opposite side of the interviewee, so you can read it much more clearly. This interview is unconventional in the way it wasn't framed as a rule of thirds, and there were two people in the interview at the same time. The camera was filmed straight on, and the white font is saying the name and relevance to the topic, which anchors the person on the screen to the topic of the documentary. As these two confessions were being read out, the documentary was made much more dramatic and created an atmosphere. Also, on screen as they were being read out, the picture is of the dark village, which made it seem more scary and made the murder very horrific too. This part of the documentary was quite interesting as it showed the newspaper during the trials for the girls. This is a close-up image of the newspaper, which is another type of media. This concert is part of the archive footage. The white font at the bottom shows the audience the lyrics to the songs that they listen to. It makes them ask themselves again, were the girls influenced by Marilyn Manson's music to murder someone? This interview is conventional in the way it also has white simple font at the bottom left. There's no background that goes with the documentary, so they've used a big close-up to put more of the attention onto her interview and what she says.